You know, I actually toyed with doing the episode on Fleabag or The Bear, but I was like, I don't want to make you watch The Bear just yet, because there's 2 seasons, and also it's got all this award show buzz right now. So I'm like, let that pass, and then we can talk about The Bear.
Yeah, why not Fleabag, though? We both watch Fleabag.
I know, but again, it's one of those things where it's such in the public consciousness right now.
I see.
Isn't
one of the guys...
Isn't one of the guys,
like, a Zionist?
Yes. Fuck
Holy
you,
crap.
Brett Gelman. I'm so happy Phoebe Waller-Bridge got paid to punch you in the face. We should all be so lucky.
It used to be all of the scandals before were just like X actor was exposed as like a groomer.
Yeah. Now they are exposed for supporting a fucking genocide.
Yeah.
Wow, what a world we live in. If anyone has any money, please go and donate money for relief for the Gazans. They need your help right now, just saying. And also, for our Filipino listeners, if you don't support the jeepney drivers as they fight against the POV phase-out, you're kind of a piece of shit. Sorry. At everyone who wants modernization, think about the jeepney drivers who will have to be in debt for the rest of their lives just because you want air conditioning. So anyway, that's Gab's rant about social-political issues over with. Anyway, we are here to talk about Wolf 359.
We need to have a better intro.
We really do. I think it's just the 6 months of being gone and going, conversations.
This is tangentially related to Brimstone Volleyball.
What?
No, because they used to be from the same
they're
studio.
in the same recording company, studio.
Yeah, they were like in the same circles at the time.
They're all in Boston.
Yeah, so there are, like, you can make connections between our current topic and one of our previous episodes, in which unfortunate things have happened in the other part of it.
Jesus Christ.
But hey, there was a good update on that, you know, like the voice for what's her name from
Bex, they're like Ross.
No. What's her name from Voltron?
Pidge.
Yeah. They're now Ms. Rock. So that's cute.
That's cute. That's
Do you think they'll re-record?
I don't know. I think they might if they have the budget. Maybe that's why season 2 is taking so long.
So, have you... Okay. What's his name? Gab something. Yeah, the creator for
Gabriel
Wolf 59.
Abrina.
Yeah. It's the same name as you.
Yes, he does. He's very cool. He also does Caravan, which is another audio drama that I love.
Yeah, have you listened to any of his other works before?
I've listened to Caravan, and I think he's involved in Rogue Runners, which is like their Let's Play D&D show, but it's based on Hades.
Like
it's good.
the game?
Yes, the game. It's good.
see.
It's fun.
Cute. Have you listened to Time Bombs?
No. Oh, wait, no, I have, but I don't have that much memory of it because it was so short. I did like it, but it was short for me.
Time Bombs was like it was my aftercare for Wolf, the finale for Wolf.
No. Oh, I can't.
It's like
believe,
the AU.
I can't believe Doug Eiffel got Donna Noble. And I can't even say that anymore because Donna Noble got a happy ending.
You have to contend with your space tragedy. Okay, let's give some better context. We're going to be talking about Wolf 359. When did this come out?
It came out in about, I think, 2015? Hang on, let me double check.
No, not the actual Red Dwarf Star Wolf 359.
No, oh yes. By the way, I didn't know that Wolf 359 was an actual thing.
Oh my god.
And then SJ went, no, it's an actual star. And I went, oh, I thought it was a thing that was in Star Trek. And in this show, I didn't know it was... I may be dumb. That's it. That's the end of the sentence.
Just very funny to me.
No, because I remember I was so excited. I was like, oh, Wolf 359 reference in Star Trek. That's neat. And SJ went, that's an actual star. I was like, oh.
I'm kind of just a nerd, so I feel like you don't have to feel weird about it.
And then it kept getting referenced in the sci-fi show, like different sci-fi things that I would watch and read.
Nice Wolf 359
and I was like,
reference.
nice Wolf 359 reference. And then I remember, no, it's an actual star.
Okay, so this series began releasing August of 2014.
That's like,
yeah.
That's how many, that's 10 years ago.
Yeah, that was the same age range of pretty much Welcome to Night Vale, that kind of
Like,
they were
That's true.
Yeah,
like Wolf
they were kind of just the pioneers
Wolf
of this
359
industry.
was like, I remember when I was into Welcome to Night Vale, like I was listening to the show, and there would be those like, I guess you'd call them alignment charts, where they'd be like, do you like space comedy?
Right,
you should
yeah.
listen to Wolf 359, the Redacted podcast, and then and then Strange Case of Starship Iris, I believe, is the other one I usually
Cute, but they
saw.
lasted up until like 2017.
Yes.
So
Which is it's a while back, actually.
yeah, that's 4 seasons,
4 seasons.
3 years.
Jesus
and
Christ.
The,
They have many episodes as well.
the way that my brain was just like, oh wow, just like Brockhampton.
Help!
Literally, the albums they released every year, I was obsessed. I grew up on that. I grew up on that shit.
But-
To the surprise of no one.
But yes, Wolf 359, at least according to the podcast description. I'm not going to read the whole thing, because they've got a very, very long
I know.
podcast description. So I'm just going to read the last couple of things. So it's 1 part spacefaring adventure, 1 part character drama, and 1 part absurdist sitcom. And that is
Yes.
Wolf 359, and that is catnip for Gab. I love me an absurdist sitcom. I watch so many absurdist sitcoms, guys. It's not even funny.
It is definitely not.
Like, my list for the show is like Miracle Workers, Dairy Girls. I'm like, I can't take all of these in because they're all absurdist sitcoms. I can't make SJ watch just absurdist sitcoms all the time. But okay, so Wolf 359, it's a sci-fi space comedy. They're on this space station called the Hephaestus. And the lead character is this dude who's their communications officer, who's called Doug Eiffel.
Yeah.
And SJ's brain pictures Doug Eiffel as Zach Valenti.
Exactly. Spitting image of Zach Valenti.
Why?
His
So,
voice
did
actor.
you end up watching the live show before you listened to the podcast? Or
Not really.
So how come... Was Zach Valenti just on your timeline?
I knew of him, but only because like a lot of people were saying that he was popping up in different podcasts. Like
Yes, he
I
was.
remember
Yes,
I remember a lot of people talking about how he was also in the
He's in Bright Sessions, yes.
Yeah, the Bright Sessions. And he did like a little cameo in Brimstone Valley Mall as well.
He was one of the demons!
Yeah, so a lot of people were like tracking where he was doing cameos.
It's like that meme about David Tennant being everywhere.
He's like a Starbucks. But I didn't really know what he looked like. Just in my brain, that kind of voice and that kind of vibe as a character just screams guy who has overgrown scruff and like long hair, and definitely is white. I'm sorry.
That's fine, because in my brain, when I was listening to the show, for some reason my brain always pictured like a slightly scruffier, more pathetic Oscar Isaac.
Help.
Like, decool him a little bit, and then you've got Doug Eiffel. Like, make him just a little less cool, and you've got Doug Eiffel. I don't know why. Like, I guess it was because I kept seeing, it was around the time that, like, Star Wars was coming out, and I kept seeing pictures of him in the orange spacesuit, that in my brain, it merged with Doug Eiffel talking about spacesuits. So now in my brain, Doug Eiffel's just a pathetic-looking, wet meow meow Oscar Isaac.
A better contender, actually, if anyone who had listened to Wolf 359 watched Into the Spider-Verse beforehand, Peter B. Parker is right up
Are
there.
you sick? No, listen, you didn't let me finish. My other cast for Doug Eiffel was Jake Johnson, like, as he is in New Girl.
This is the one thing I did notice about Wolf 359 is the amount of, like, American pop culture reference.
Oh yeah, no, I
This shit will alienate you.
no, you know what? It doesn't alienate me because I came from the childhood experience of reading Percy Jackson.
Yeah.
And going, what the fuck is an arch?
Like, I just had to, like, roll through it with context clues, but, like, half the time, most of the characters are just like, what the fuck are you talking about?
But, yeah, there's a lot of, like, Americana references, especially with Doug Eiffel.
Yeah, it's a weird choice, considering they're literally in deep space.
I think that's what keeps him sane, is clinging to that.
To the familiar.
To the familiarity. Like, there's an episode where he's about to smoke his last cigarette, and then all hell breaks loose, and I'm like, man, just let him smoke his last cigarette. No, but there's that. That made me laugh because I was listening to it the other day. Is that episode where he and Hira, I think, Hira's like their
AI,
their AI / space computer. How would you describe it? She's like their navigation system.
Yeah.
She helps keep the space station.
She's
like,
basically like Cortana, but for the whole ship.
Oh my god.
I only make the comparison because, like, a lot of my knowledge of sci-fi comes from reading the Halo books when I was like 11.
That is so. Yeah, I did know that about you, but for some reason I'm like, that is such a strange bit of SJ lore.
I did not play any of the Halo games. I read the Halo books. I don't have consoles. I'm a pirate, okay? Leave me alone. But yeah, she's their nav system, and she's basically just like their AI.
Yeah, she's also their friend. She's a little bit of a weird AI in that she has her own personality and is argumentative, and she gets reset a bunch of times, and it's actually really sad because Hera is like a person.
You know, that was a very semi-accurate comparison with the Halo books, because the thing with Hera, and this is you know, spoilers for the 2014 podcast.
Yeah, spoilers for this decades-old podcast.
The thing with Hera being like the brain snapshot of a random scientist from Earth is kind of like one of the more interesting existential questions that they pose in the show itself. Her little identity crisis when Dr. Price comes aboard is kind of oof. It's like meeting your mom question.
Mom / you, but also you're not you because you've developed your own sense of self, completely separated from the person that you're based off of. How do I explain this? It's like Aloy from Horizon Zero Dawn. No! Oh my god.
She's a clone of some scientist from way back, and she since she's like an orphan, she has like this whole existential thing of just like, who made me, what was I for, yada yada yada, and then she meets
but like the idea of meeting this person who you were based off of, and now you have this whole thing of, well, I am based off you, so am I you? But then you've lived experiences that this person hasn't lived, and now you're just like stuck in this limbo of, well, who is
this was
here?
kind of like because we brought this up on the last episode yesterday.
We're recording this back to back, by the way, guys. Hi.
So like we sort of talked about that tomorrow, but it's also like tangentially related to the Jacoby episode where they're like, is that really you outside or is this you inside? But like I bring that up because I've had this conversation with Alina like a few times before about like, if you mitosis from yourself, is the you that separated from you still you, or like which one of you is the original? Is there an original? Yeah,
that stuff like keeps me up at night, especially as someone who like, you know, the things about doppelgangers in Philippine mythology.
Yeah,
where you'll see your friend and you'll wave to them and they won't talk to you. They'll ignore you and you'll be like, okay, that was weird. And then you get a call. It's like, oh, I was absent today. You're like,
oh, that was an omen of death, girl.
It's happened to me 3 times. I'm still here. But I'm like, alright, so I definitely talked to someone who looked like you.
Okay, cool.
Alright, cool, great. If you separated yourself and made like a different version of you, is that still you? Because then they get stuck in that version of you while you evolve and grow, and then they also have their own experiences. So technically, when do you not become you? It's the ship of Theseus thing as well.
Cursed comparison, but they have this entire concept in the Magnus Archives.
Oh, I've never listened to the Magnus Archives. I think I've only listened to like some of season 1, and that was it. Until the one where there was a box, and he was told not to open the box.
I kind of have this thing where if it's on Tumblr enough, and I get enough, like, curious enough, or if
osmosis.
If I'm not annoyed by it, I'll try it, because I get, like, intense FOMO sometimes.
No.
This is exactly what happened when I, like, started watching Supernatural when I was, like, 13.
Oh, no. Were people around you watching it?
On Tumblr.
Ah, I see.
I did not have friends when I was 13.
Oh, buddy.
It's the same thing. Like, I started TMA because everyone else was listening to it, and then I listened through up until, like, I guess the end of season 4.
Oh, damn, you got it. That's far into it.
Yeah, real far into it, and then I stopped by the final season because, honestly, like, the moment it went full serialization, it just lost its charm to me.
That's fair.
But there's this whole concept, because, like, TMA has this whole thing of, like, fears manifesting into, like, eldritch beings, basically.
Yes, I do know about that. Yeah.
So one of the fears is, like, kind of like that doppelganger effect, but it's mostly just the fear of change, sort of, and stagnation at the same time.
If I run away, they can't touch me. It's fine.
So the idea is that I remember that because that one specific episode really stuck to me. But it was like the guy who gave the entry, because the format of TMA is basically like people giving their stories to the Institute, and that's like, it's an archive. The guy went to, like, a cousin's wedding or something, and there were, like, a few people there who knew him as a child, and then he was just like, their version of me will live on in their consciousness forever, but they don't know that version of me is dead already. Like, I
will have to say, this is the topic of my thesis film.
Yeah.
It's me reckoning with that fear and being like, no, you know what? Change is good. Change means you've grown as a person, and you have to stop being afraid of it.
A lot of the characters in Wolf 359 kind of have similar issues, but instead of working through all of that, they decided to sign off on a really dead-end contract and catapult themselves into deep space.
That's like the next level of escapism. Like, spoiler for Wolf 359, Doug Eiffel, that's not really a spoiler, I think it's probably different. He's an alcoholic with a kid.
Yeah,
and
he just, like,
and
ran
his
away
wife
from him.
Separated from him, I think, or divorced. They divorced or something like that.
I don't think they married.
Were they not married? I can't remember.
No.
I know he has a kid, and he had a partner, and then they were separated.
Yeah.
Like, she took custody of the kid.
I mean, he still has to pay for the kid.
Yeah.
Legally.
Child support. He's a good dad. He's a good dad.
That's part of the... I don't know about good, but, like, that's part of the reason why he's in
that he does
deep
the bare
space.
minimum.
The bar is on the floor.
The bar is on the floor.
That part of the reason why he's in the deep space is because he needs to pay for child support.
Yeah, Eiffel has, like, a bunch of crises about being like, oh, I'm only on this mission because I'm expendable. I'm an experiment to see if they can take, like, this normal, kind of less smart, quote-unquote, in the way he describes himself, human being, and stick him in space and see what he does. Like, go, monkey, go. He does get more confident as the seasons go on, but he also fucks up a lot when he's a bit more confident.
Yeah. The hubris, baby.
Yeah. I do love him and Hera's friendship. I do know people ship them.
Odd, but okay, I sort of get it.
I'm like, it's odd. It's inoffensive. I could see it somewhat. I'm like, you know what? It doesn't yuck my yum. Is what I'll say. I hate to say it. The Doug Eiffel, Dean Winchester pipeline.
No, absolutely not.
No. Listen to me. I hate. There's a reason why, like, in gift sets on Tumblr, Castiel is looking at Dean with, like, his head tilted, like, in a, like, what the fuck? It's also because he speaks in, like, goddamn pop culture references 24/7. And I know, I have no leg to stand on. I know, I am aware.
99% of the time of this podcast, I have no idea what the fuck you're talking. And then I just go, yeah, okay, sure. I'll reblog that.
You should just insert a clip or like a random little compilation of what the fuck is Gab saying. Pop culture references in this episode or at the end.
I think the top contender would still be you.
Avril Lavigne.
Yeah, the Avril Lavigne fucking kill.
And there's also some weird, like, Australianisms, and then also there's the, what is it? Oh my god, what is that word that I say weird that you and Stess always make fun of me for saying strangely?
Oh no.
Oh my god.
You say a lot of things.
But yeah, Doug Eiffel talks in a lot of pop... Don't the aliens that he accidentally broadcasts his recordings to accidentally end up talking like him? And Minkowski is like, could you not just talk like a normal human being? Like a normal, sane human being.
The aliens are basically like training AI, and he just gave them a shit ton of pop
culture references, and that's how they're trying to communicate to other people. So it's like feeding aliens this alien language that you only understand if you have the context of the Earth knowledge of like 10,000 movies.
Oh. But like specifically American.
Specifically American movies from the 90s and 80s.
Yeah. The funny thing is, like, this is exactly like why I sort of only tangentially understand whatever is going on in like gay lingo, because 90% of it is like pop cultural references but in Filipino, but I don't.
You haven't seen enough of it.
No, I have no idea what they're all talking about. So I'm just like, I only understand parts of it, and then I like just decode it in my brain. I'm like, oh, okay, I understand what you're saying here. Or I pick it up through Twitter.
Yeah. Like, I know the basic stuff like Shinaron, you know, and all that. Like, but
People who
yeah.
speak in pop cultural references scare me, actually.
Then why are we friends? No, I'm kidding.
You don't speak in pop cultural references. You don't bring them up in conversation and assume I understand them.
No,
you just go, just like XYZ.
And then you go, huh? And then I explain.
Yeah. So you don't speak in them. You just like bring them up. And it's like a gateway. It's like a gateway drug. No, it's like a gateway into, you know, educating me in the wider sphere of pop culture.
No, because I think it's just all these years of like much like Doug Eiffel, just like all these years of accumulating, watching HBO movies in the background. That even though I haven't seen some of the movies that Doug Eiffel references in his little tirades, oh my god, there's so many motorcycles. In his little tirades, I'm like, yeah, I know what Good Morning Vietnam is. That's a Robin Williams movie. Have I seen it? No. Is it Good Morning Vietnam? It might not even be Good Morning Vietnam, but I do know it's Robin Williams who says it. Like, can I just say, on the subject of pop culture references, something Dean Winchester says is, this criminal de jour is really creeping my cheese. And I'm like, baby girl, what are you saying?
This is what 40-year-olds think cool kids talk like.
No, he is a 40-year-old by the time he says that.
No. The writers.
Oh.
The writers. Not Dean Winchester as a character. The writers who made him.
But who have we got on the show? We've got Minkowski. How do you say it? Minkowski. Yeah, for much of the podcast, Doug calls him Minkowski. I'm like, no, it's Kowski.
It's giving Americans trying to pronounce Japanese names, and it kills me every single time.
It's giving Americans trying to pronounce my last name, and it's not even that hard to pronounce. But it's also like my science teacher who's like, how do you pronounce your name? I also go by Gabby. He went, is it Gaby?
Gay baby
That's
girl.
why I always call myself Baklang Bubuyog sometimes. But yeah, he calls her Minkowski, and there's a whole episode about it, I think season 4.
I really love it when Minkowski actually just like breaks it to him.
Yeah, and
And
he's
she's
like,
just like, you can't even pronounce
"That's
my name.
But Minkowski is such I'm like, I look at her, I'm like, wow.
I love the reaction. She's literally just audio waves. Wow.
Listen, Ambush Zarko did such a good job that I have like this mental picture of Minkowski in my head, and I don't know who it is exactly, but like in my head I'm just like, wow. For a different character, for Loveless, in my brain she looks like Tessa Thompson.
Of course.
I
I love how ubiquitously, like, all of the 359 fans kind of just assumed that Loveless was black.
Yeah.
Because, like, that's something that, is just unprecedented in a lot of podcast fandom.
It's so... as two people who met through podcasts, yeah. Yep.
They did, like, a retrospective, like, interview for the 4th season. The last one.
Mm-hmm.
It was like a Q&A thing that they were doing live. Like when Loveless's VA actually brought it up that she found it like kind of sweet that a lot of people headcanon her character as black because, well, maybe partially because she was also black.
Yeah.
It was just like complete silence in that studio. And then they moved on.
No!
Like it was just like one mention and then they all just went over it.
No.
I'm like, is anyone gonna say?
No,
Y'all are
Cecile
so
and Jacob.
Y'all are so awkward. It's kind of sad.
No, I think it's just all of them are so awkward. It's so funny.
You would think that, but like all of the videos they have for the music as well, because the music is great.
Oh, I love the music on the show.
They they all look like they're having a great time in the recording booth. You would assume they'd be friends, sort of, but like, you know, casting crews and like videos online. Don't assume. That's the end
thing,
of that.
yes.
That's a parasocial relationship thing.
But yes, Minkowski and Loveless. I remember before I found out that Minkowski was married, I was kind of like, hi.
It's okay.
I was like, lesbian?
Her husband's not in space.
It's not infidelity if it's in... No, I'm joking.
It's not gay if it's in space, that kind of thing.
You have different marriages on different planets. No,
we're not on American soil. Don't even worry about it.
But I remember when Loveless showed up, and then she developed like this close relationship with Minkowski, and even when Minkowski kind of gives up command of the Hephaestus to Loveless, and she's like, "I'm just holding this for you. This is yours. This is not mine." I was like,
Okay, not. I'm about to ask you a question that you're going to be very offended by.
Why?
Ignoring the fact that the answer is very obvious, who would you say is your favorite character from 59?
Loveless.
Okay, cool, great.
What were you expecting?
Eiffel.
I feel like I'm like Eiffel, but in that sense, he can't be my favorite character because we're too similar.
Like, you say that, but like, oh right, technically your favorite character from Supernatural is Castiel.
Yes.
Yeah. So it's your fave and then your Kinney. That
kind of, yeah.
I see.
Because I feel weird to, like, the only time I've had a fave who is also my Kinney, I guess, is Shiro from Voltron, which sounds cursed, but, like, it's the eldest sibling energy, okay? Like, the difference for me between, like, how much I love Eiffel and how much I love Loveless. With Eiffel, I look at him and I go, look, I cannot look directly at you. With Loveless, I'm just sitting there going, I love you. Can you be in more episodes? That was me listening to all the extras that were just Loveless's past, just going, I just think she's so cool. I know you also love the Time Loop episode. I love that episode as well.
I do love the Time Loop episode.
It's so tasty.
I did say that last time. I'm like calculating like which ones do I like the most, but like this thing, I can't. Okay, listen. I'm not
Who is
being
your
like
favorite?
too harsh about it. I'm trying not to be too harsh about it, but like none of them really stuck to me that much.
That's fair.
Like, if there was anyone I really hated, it was probably,
Kepler.
like... Yeah, I fucking hate
Oh
that
my
guy.
god. Just for listeners, I remember when I was live listening, because SJ listened way before I did. And then I got into it, I think, post the whole debacle with that one podcast. And I was searching for, like, a good space show, because I love space shows. And I remember listening to, I think, when does Kepler come in? Is it season 3 or season 4?
Season 3.
Yeah.
Then he
Gets
turns into a big villain in season 4.
Like, season 3, season 4, I was messaging SJ going, can they just fucking kill Kepler already?
Absolutely, they should.
And then SJ went, they won't kill him for a bit yet. I'm like, aw. Like, the actor was really good in that he annoyed me so much as Kepler that I wanted him dead. I want him in the ground. Like, sorry to the Jacoby Kepler enjoyers.
Oh, goodness.
I'm not built for that life.
I hate them!
I'm not built for that life. God bless. Live your best truth. It's not for me.
I hate them. The whole thing about Scotch, I fucking hate it! Every time. That's the only guy who ever stuck to me. Like, it's that bad.
It's like gum on the bottom of your shoe.
Fucking hate him.
But I hate Kepler, I do like Jacoby. I think he is kind of like, he's kind of like an, I guess the closest thing you'd say is he's an anti-hero, but he's not really. He's just kind of like this fucked up little guy who enjoys explosives and stirring the pot.
Yeah, he's just some dude.
He's just some
right
guy.
there.
And I always feel sad whenever he brings up his bestie, Maxwell.
Is he at all comparable to that one guy from Six of Crows?
Oh, the one who's Wyland.
The explosives guy as well.
I don't know. I haven't read Six. I read Six of Crows once, so I don't have that much reference.
You're stronger than me. I read one page of Six of Crows and then closed it.
That's fair. Like, I'm not even gonna be mad. I'm just like, I read it once and then I was like, oh, alright, that was a fun ride. And then
how terribly high my standards.
Oh no!
I see one page and then judge it, and it's like, hell no, we are not going
this
through
is not
this
for
one.
me. No, but I do love Jacoby. I like his relationship with Maxwell a lot. So whenever like the sad moments where he gets upset about her death they hit.
Yeah.
Like, especially, actually in Time to Kill, where she's upset about not letting the fake Jacoby in.
Yeah.
That's upsetting, where she's like, that's Jacoby, let him in. And then he has to go, Maxwell, I'm right here. I'm like, ah!
Both of them are Jacoby. Let him in.
2 Jacobys at once!
Yes, absolutely.
Can you imagine if they actually let the other Jacoby in? Two Jacobys.
Do not understand the Herculean effort for me to not say that. Just like in ORV.
Yeah.
I'm like holding back.
This
I'm
is
horny
your version
gripping my
of
way.
holding back your little factoids.
No, it's my version, but like with more restraint of you going, just like in Supernatural.
Yes.
I'm not even going to fucking explain. It's gonna be.
But yes, Jacoby's cool. Kepler is a piece of shit.
Deep Space
where do you
Survival
land on
Procedure
Cutter
and
and Price?
Hmm?
Where do you land on Carter and Price? I did like Cutter in the live special that they did.
I like Carter. He's a good villain.
Is it Cutter or Carter? Those are two different.
Cutter, sort of.
Carter and Price is the handbook, right? The drug.
Yes. Sorry, I was reading it just as you were asking.
I do have a PDF of it.
I liked him as like a villain, but like he has 0 depth, so it's fine.
I think he's fun as a cartoon villain. I initially thought he was voiced by Ben Schwartz. That's not the case.
No, Scotty Shoemaker.
Like, damn, what a fairy tale ass name.
Name. Can I open his website portfolio thing? Oh, it's at IMDb.
Wow.
And it goes to Milo Scott.
Huh? Is that his name?
Oh, no. Yes, apparently.
Oh.
Milo Scott.
Alright,
Actor,
Scotty
writer,
Shoemaker.
producer.
But yeah, I remember Cutter being like, oh, he's kind of a fun little guy. He's like I don't like him as a character. but I like him as a villain, which is like a different conversation altogether.
God, speaking of like connections, because we earlier we connected Zach Valenti to a shit ton of other podcasts very recently because of the VA strike going on, because of the AI stuff that SAG-AFTRA just like kind of fucking swept under the rug. Kind of weird for them to do that, but like Tina Costello, who voices Colleen Genshin, actually knows Emma Sherr-Zarko personally. I'm just like,
honestly, it's all connected. It's all connected.
Collision. I'm scared.
I always forget how much stuff, like moving on from that, I always forget how much stuff Gabriel Urbina has contributed to, because I'm looking at his website. It's like Wolf 359, Unseen, 0 Hours, Time Bombs. He's written for Bright Sessions, Wooden Overcoats, Outliers, Life on Pause, The Phenomenon, that Vampire Show, which is fun. Like, okay, like, not to plug another fun, that Vampire Show is fun if you were in the Supernatural and Buffy the Vampire Slayer fandom. It's like it's like this trippy meta thing where you go, I know what this is referencing.
Nice.
That Vampire Show, the Amelia Project, Our Fair City, and it co-hosts the game show No Bad Ideas.
Oh, I actually listened to 0 Hours. That was fun.
I also listened to 0 Hours. I quite like Brick and Snow is in 0 Hours, isn't he?
Yeah.
Damn, like the Bright Sessions, Wolf 359. I think Elmer Sherr-Zarko is also in an episode of Bright Sessions.
Huh. Okay.
And then you've got the whole thing with Bright Sessions in EOS 10 as well, where Zach Valenti is also in EOS 10, I believe. I think he has him and Brick and Snow are also in EOS 10.
I forgot that the person who did the posters for 0 Hours was Michaela Buckley.
No. Oh my god. That's reminding me of when I looked up Wolf 359 fan art. I was like, is this? Oh shit, it is. Yes. My god.
Killed me, Dad.
We're gonna have to...
That's funny.
But it's just really funny to me that all these audio dramas are just inextricably linked to each other.
It's a very small pool of
true.
Talent.
And somehow they're all in like what do you call it? Is it Midwest? Is that right?
I don't know.
As we said, we are not American. We do not know.
I would rather not know. See, the thing with these like these pioneer like podcasts from way back is that since they were pioneering most of like the audio drama scene, a lot of it is based on very specifically American TV kind of scripts.
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah, so that's why like a lot of Wolf 59 is sitcom-y, because it's like A plot, B plot, that kind of stuff. I don't know about Welcome to Night Vale. Welcome to Night Vale is more stage show than sitcom.
Welcome to Night Vale is kind of like absurdist radio.
Yeah.
More than sitcom.
Yeah, and it's usually just a one-man team and like guests sometimes.
I will actually go back and listen to Welcome to Night Vale just because I kind of miss the kind of weirdly... Welcome to Night Vale is the show that's best enjoyed late at night.
Yeah.
Because the vibes are immaculate. Like, if you just listen to it while having like your late night snack, beautiful, tasty. The vibes are off the charts. Like, Wolf 359, I remember when I was in the heart of listening to the show. It was when post the whole thing. It was post the whole thing. And I was doing work for like 8 straight hours at that point. I don't remember what class it was. I think it might have been for thesis. And literally, I would just binge whole seasons in one day.
Oh my god.
I think except season 3 and season 4, because those episodes were heavy. But 1 and 2, I know I listened to straight through. 3 and 4, I broke up.
It's an odd pattern to have followed with a lot of the pioneer shows, like Night Vale and like this one and TMA. The way they went from random shit go, and then suddenly they become serious and serialized. Like, I don't know why they suddenly followed that trend. Like, it's good for some of them. Like, specifically this one was good.
I
was
agree.
Good with it.
I agree. Like, I remember thinking, going from the season 2 thing where it's kind of like well, towards the end of season 2, it becomes less snippets and more like you said, serialized. But I thought they handled that jump really well. Whereas I think I heard from a lot of people that the Magnus Archives one wasn't handled as well.
Yeah.
Which kind of turned me off, because what I did like about Magnus Archives in the first season was the kind of X-Files snippet thing, where it was like bottle episodes, and you could just like pick it up and put it down.
I like their shorter ones better, because like I don't know, something about horror is very just episodic. I can't sit with it for too long, because if it gets too long, suddenly it becomes a little tackier. The only person who has ever done that well would probably be like Mike Flanagan in my brain.
Mike Flanagan is great.
The thing with his kind of horror, though, is that it's not really like there to scare you. It's kind of like a vehicle for his themes instead.
Yeah.
So when TMA went from like episodic to serialized, it felt like a little weird.
Because I thought, like when I first got into like trying to listen to season 1, I really thought they were gonna stick with these like little bits of story. And it's gonna be a different story every time. And then it started getting serialized, and I'm like, oh, but I kind of like the format of like individual kind of Black Mirror-y horror stories.
The way they handled
Anthology,
Wolf 59's like serialization kind of was like it got from okay to holy crap, that's actually really good when Loveless came in. Like that's
yes.
that's really where it started to shine.
Yes.
Because when it was just like the three of them, and like when when Hilbert died, it was just like like, yeah, we're getting scammed by our boss, but like we have no way home, and it's just like we could end it here. We don't have to go for it, because that's like the existential horror of like working for capitalism, right?
And being in space, just like in deep space with
the
the
thing
fucking
was,
communications relay that takes 2 weeks.
The worst thing about like the worst thing about sci-fi sometimes is that you cannot separate it from capitalism.
Oh no, no, because if you think about it, how unless you're talking about, I guess, Doctor Who. Mm-hmm. Which, the premise is he's an alien. Well, they're an alien, technically. And they come to Earth. When it's, like, human sci-fi, like, humans going into space, it always has this form of, I guess, capitalism or bureaucracy. Like, in every, like, space story where we are the ones who are leaving the planet. Yeah. Even in something as simple as Toy Story. Like, if you look at, like, Buzz Lightyear, it's the military, it's an organization, it's something.
I think the thing with, like, very specifically as well, like, American sci-fi, like space drama, sci-fi kind of like American stuff, is that a lot of the institutions involved in sending people to space are just militaristic in
Star
in
Trek.
every form, right? That's why
Star
Minkowski
Wars.
is also like kind of a hard ass, because she was part of the military.
I think they're technically all military. I think.
Yeah, they had to have
right?
training before they went up to deep space, but Minkowski was like an army brat.
person. Yeah.
Minkowski was the army brat because she went, like, it was like her dad's legacy or something, and then she followed after.
I think it's really like Minkowski's such a fascinating character to me, because she has all of this, like, she's the one who memorizes the entirety of Price and Carter. I keep calling him Carter. She's the militaristic one, but she's also the one who has that crisis of leadership.
Yeah.
Like,
oh my god, just like an... Okay, never mind.
No, just say it. Just
like an ORB. Okay. So, like, there's... Like, remember when I mentioned Captain Korea?
Yeah.
Yeah, the guy who was in the military for a long time. He does not like the military, but he likes the order of things.
I think
that's
what it is.
Following orders and, like, having a direction in life. And it's, like, to parallel Lee Jung-hyuk, who has, like, a thing about, like, I have no idea where I'm going with my life. I need someone to tell me what to do, da-da-da-da. Fleabag.
Just like Fleabag, just like Doug Eiffel, just like so many people.
Like, a lot of people who are in the military, like, in fiction specifically, I don't know about, like, real life, we don't fucking care about that, but, like, people in fiction, in the military, usually are there for reasons of like following orders and also like
It's comforting
wanting
to them.
that direction.
It's kind of weirdly the Captain America thing, which is like what gets lost in the later installments of Captain America.
In the movies.
Yeah, in the movies. Like, I feel like he started falling apart past Civil War when they made him enjoy the military aspect a bit too much and less, like, the doing good and the order of it all and keeping the order. That's why it pisses me off. It pisses me off!
Minkowski's character sort of follows that, but also because of, like, being in deep space, being sent there by, like, your boss probably means that like part of her life has already been falling apart in this
and the fact
whole...
that she just casually drops the I'm married.
Yeah. Definitely not a problem that you're in deep space
I'm
when you're in like
I
in a
remember that happened. I was like, pardon?
Yeah.
Because we find this information on I think season 3 or season 4.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
she's here for the job. It's nothing personal.
Oh my god.
Just like me, for real. So true, Minkowski.
Yeah, I feel like out of all of them. Yeah, that tracks.
Just like me, for real.
And it also makes sense why we are friends, because I'm the Eiffel to your Minkowski, technically. No, think about it. What I like...
Isn't she the more tech illiterate of them?
Yes.
I remember that part where she's just like, I don't know what the fuck to do.
That's the only way that's reversed. In no way could I ever be a communications officer. Oh my god.
This is why I'm in multimedia studies and you're in anime.
Yes. But what I do like is like that little friendship, and kind of in a way the way Wolf 359 lets these characters develop beyond the stereotypes they initially get presented as. Where like you think Minkowski is like this rigid militaristic leader. No, she's also kind of a mess.
Yeah.
She's a mess.
She does not know what to do 100% of the time. She's kind of just winging it.
She's winging it all the time. It's fuck around. Eiffel, for all his like slightly weirdness, he has a better handling on like emotional situations than Minkowski does. No. I think it's really there's something so weirdly human about Eiffel being in space and just like sending his voice out through the void of space. There's something deeply like I don't know, deeply human about it. It's like it's why we write like diary entries or why we write blogs and stuff. We're just sending it out into the void in the hopes of maybe being heard by like a different being. And in Eiffel's case, yeah, but it's not the being he expected to be heard. To hear him, surprise! Oh, I remember when I first listened and they're like, oh, someone's talking, and it's like, come in, blah blah blah, this is Doug Eiffel and the Hephaestus. I'm like, huh? Huh?
For a show that has the lead man going on, it really does go absolute apeshit with its female characters.
No, I know. It's so... I think about like the Minkowski and Loveless episodes and their stories, and it makes me want to bite something. Also, I think about Loveless and like having to deal with being something slightly different from being human, because she has that alien stuff going on, and she was just about to go home, and then she gets like all this alien goop in her, and I mean it keeps her alive, but then she has the whole thing about like, well, what am I now? Which I think is at the core of the show, of all these people on the space station like having to reckon with, well, what am I now? Because I'm not the person that I was before I went up to space, and now
she's been temporally displaced.
Yes, and like now I'm something different, and I don't quite know what I want that to be, but I am being forced to be that person right now, because I am put in the situation that requires me to be this person.
There was this one, like, also sort of deep space anime that I saw someone talk about that is, like, tangentially related to that.
Interesting.
Because, like, they were having conversations about how going up into deep space temporarily displaces you with the people that live on Earth.
I think I saw that post. I don't know the title, but I think I did see that post.
No, it wasn't on Tumblr. I saw like someone talk about it on YouTube, and maybe it was the orbital laser. I think it was like a Jacob Geller episode, like little video essay, and he was talking about how like a lot of deep space stuff has to contend with that theme of being temporally displaced.
Yeah.
With the people that you love, which is kind of like why like a lot of the themes for Wolf 359 is just that whole like being changed and not knowing what to do with that and stagnating, that kind of stuff that you're kind of scared of.
Yeah. I think that is why that resonates with me. And I think that's also why I think you, me, and like everyone in the friend group, whenever we checked up on said redacted show, we got frustrated with the way they took the newer season. Mm-hmm. Because it's like, oh, we are stagnating again and ignoring all the change we have and growth we have made in the past season. Alright, that's not a good story.
We honestly need to take, like, we need to do, like, a therapy episode and, like, talk about that podcast for, like, a second.
Yeah. It can be a little rant episode.
There's something about it. We can do our little, like, mini-sode. Yeah, like, that one time we did, like, a very long intro.
Just, like, the setting off. Yeah. But yeah, there's something like very interesting about like space things in general that I am always fascinated by, and that is about the change thing, and like Star Trek and like maybe not Star Wars so much, because like
there's actually like a little subplot of that. Well, not subplot, like a little side quest of that in Hawkeye Star Rail that one time, where it was just like two people, like I guess two like classmates, like they met each other on like a space station. They're like both researchers, and then the girl got sent into deep space, and then there was like a space anomaly that happened, and then it was revealed that even though the guy has brought up the courage to try and confess to her, he can't, because by the time that message will reach her, it would have been in like 10 years already. Jesus Christ. Something like that.
That's fucked up.
Yeah. little tragic side quest in Star Rail.
Oh my god.
But it's sort of like that. That's kind of like how I imagine a lot of like the themes going on with Minkowski after a lot of what happened in Variations on a Theme, the episode, because it's like a lot of her like storyline is just like being displaced and also like not connecting with people.
Yeah.
Because now she's like something completely different from what she was before, and the people she grew to know kind of just like disappeared from time, and no one will have heard from them. And they like news of their disappearance won't reach Earth because like capitalism.
Yeah.
They'll sweep that shit under the rug because it was complete failure.
Oh god.
Yeah, and like I think I wrote a fic about this once, and it's actually a crossover fic.
With what?
With Penumbra.
Oh shit.
Yeah. Where in Loveless, actually I think my thought process was that like Loveless became technically immortal because of the alien thing.
The alien goopies.
Yeah, and the only person who is kind of left is Hira, because like remember that one episode where it was like set on Earth, and it was like I don't think it was an episode, it was like a side story or something. It was Jacoby, Maxwell, and Kepler actually live in like a compound together.
Oh yeah, I did hear about that. Yeah.
So I think my thought process was that they went back to Earth and lived on the compound together. And then eventually, like, a few of them die out, that kind of stuff. You know, there are people who ship Jacoby and Eiffel.
There are?
Yeah. Weird, right? Anyway,
okay.
Weird sidetrack.
Alright, I shouldn't be surprised. It came up in the age of Tumblr, but
the yaoi.
Yeah, okay, I shouldn't be surprised by that. I don't like it. I'm fine with it, but I'm less fine with Jacoby Kepler. Anyway, but yeah, I think there's such like an interesting thing about space and like the ways that we have portrayed space in different forms of media, and like the way it differs from country to country, like how they do sci-fi in country to country is so different from how another country does sci-fi.
See, I listened to Wolf 359 while I was still in teacher's school, which did not pan out well. But I was listening to it on my commute to and from school, which was like 2 hours. So I get through like 3 to 4 episodes per trip on the bus.
That's how far away your school was.
No, it was not that far. It was just like a lot of traffic.
I see.
Because it's Manila.
Yes. You know what is funny? Because I remember, as we mentioned, Wolf 359 came out in like the era of like Welcome to Night Vale. I remember trying Wolf 359 and going, this is too American for me, and then I stopped listening to it. Like I have that very fuzzy memory of I was listening to Bright Sessions, which is very funny that I thought Wolf 359 was so American. But I remember I was listening to Bright Sessions. This was probably when I was reviewing for college. Back in like when did I graduate? Like 2018? And I listened to Wolf 359. I was like, I think I made it to episode 3, and then I went, not for me. And I left it alone. But I did like the fan art people were making of it. Like I remember I liked a lot of the Maxwell Hera fan art. Like not ship art, but like the fucked up little self-reflection fan art.
Yeah.
But I remember coming back to it, and after you recommended that you're like, why don't you just give Wolf 359 a try? I'm like, maybe I should try it again. And then I remember after recommending it to Stas going, I cannot distinguish any of the voices.
So true.
Actually, you know what? That's fair. No, because sometimes, as a non-American, some people are just so freaking American. You cannot distinguish their voice.
It's like listening to like sci-fi like comedies back to back to back. It's like the same sensation of listening to like teen rock bands, but specifically like the edgy boy teen rock bands from like the mid 2010s or something. So it's like they all blend together.
The ones that with like the Taking Back Sunday and
they all sound like each other.
Yeah.
It's kind of why I also like did not end up listening through to like EOS 10.
You did finish it, didn't you?
No.
Oh, did you not?
I did not.
But you listened to some of it, because I remember you listening to it.
Yeah, I listened to like 2 seasons and then I dropped it. It was not for me.
That's fair. I think EOS 10 is much more comedic.
It's something.
That one is a bit more complicated than we can do an episode on. But, like, I remember EOS 10 I got into because of Stas going, oh, you'll like this. But that's because Stas is in STEM.
Yeah. Like, I like space and also, like, deep space stuff because I'm a nerd and also because I was into Halo as, like, a child. But EOS 10's kind of, like, messy Grey's Anatomy kind of humor.
Yeah. It's like
did
comedic
not click with me.
I almost said Grey's humor. Comedic Grey's Anatomy energy. I
did not click with it.
That's fair.
It wasn't okay. It wasn't nice. I think of my kind of like space stuff because I noticed actually after listening to TMA and like not liking it after 4 seasons, and that's how much time I spent on that stupid fucking thing. I like audio dramas more when it's sci-fi. Mm-hmm. But like a very specific kind of sci-fi that's not to like just one person, I guess.
That's fair.
I don't know.
You like an ensemble? Is that the right word?
Sort of.
I mean, that's why you like all our friends and like our little friend group really like season 3 of Penumbra.
Yeah.
Because it's an ensemble.
Got tired of
yeah, exactly. But yeah, I think despite Doug being, or I keep calling Doug, that's strange. Despite Eiffel being like the lens that which we go through Wolf 359, it's very much an ensemble show.
Yeah, I mean that is kind of like the rule for writing, especially like in script writing too. Like if you're choosing perspectives in a show wherein there are a lot of like very smart people, and you do not have the knowledge that those people have. You choose the stupidest character ever.
Aww.
That's your perspective. In that way, when people have to explain things to the listener, it doesn't feel like tacked on or like exposition-y. It feels, okay, that's fine. I understand now. And also, wow, Doug did not know this before going out to deep space.
there are so many things in that I'm like, Mr. Eiffel, Doug, sir.
Wasn't this in Training, sir? And he's just like, I didn't listen to anything.
I think Wolf 359 has like that right blend. It's kind of a dramedy, is how I would describe it in like modern genre terms. In the same way that, like, as I brought up the bear, like, yeah, I think about the bear, I think about Wolf 359, and it's in the same tone, where they're in stressful situations, like, but they all, like, really care about each other, even though they're not the best at showing it sometimes. And there's, like, comedic bits, but there's also a lot of these heavy, dramatic bits, and sometimes they'll drop a bit of lore that you're like, sorry, can we circle back to that?
No. Heart emoji.
No.
No. You remember when you listed down the stuff that Gabriel Urbina has been in?
Yeah.
Or has done?
Yeah.
One of them has Oscar Isaac in it.
What?
Case 63.
What?
On its second season.
That's wild. That's wild. Honestly, I don't know. Like, Oscar Isaac has just imprinted himself as what Doug Eiffel looks like in my brain. K63, I want to see that. Hang on.
The thumbnail says Julianne Moore and
Julianne Moore?
Yeah. Wild stuff in there.
Damn. Okay, I misspelled it because once again, listeners, I'm kind of dumb. I thought you said K63. It's K63.
K63.
I see. Oh yeah, Emma Shajarko did like a reunion episode in 2021. That's how you spell Shajarko?
Yes.
Sorry, Emma Shajarko. I haven't seen it. I don't see it spelled out that often. That's like Julian Silver, Scotty Shoemaker, Zach Valenti, Ariel, Rodden Gold, Noah Mazur, Mitchell Agresti, Sarah Shackett. The funniest things about all these names are they are all names that show up in every single credits of every single audio drama.
For real?
Yeah, no, for real. Like, I've listened to quite a few, and I'm like, I know these names. I did not know this is how they were spelled, but I know these names. Is there anything that they have planned for what? Or is it just like over?
It's over. It's all done. It's over.
Aww.
They already got their accolades for it.
That's
too.
true.
Because they pretty much pioneered like the space drama on.
That's true. That's very true.
On audio.
Yeah, it's actually wild when I think about it that way. I'm like, yeah.
It's very obvious that both of the writers for this one were not in radio drama writing because they are both in more TV script writing.
Yes,
I think like they've talked about that at some point. That's why the sitcom format. A lot of the random tidbits that I found for their writing actually was sort of helpful for how I rewrote Reverse A. Like the whole like choose the stupidest person in the room and then go with their perspective, and also like making sure you're not being very obvious about portraying what is happening to your character like in front of your character without being too like exposition-y, like well, that's a gun.
Yeah.
You can use audio cues, that kind of stuff. It's very
like, just
helpful.
Like if you see that's a gun, it's just like the clicking of a gun, like going. It's just like in real life when I just bump into something and I go, ow. You don't need me to tell you that I bump into the table. I've bumped into the table.
The thing with audio dramas sometimes is that you can tell when it's obvious that it's like pulling away the curtains. I swear, it's like pulling away the curtains while someone is talking on stage.
Oh no.
You can't look away from it. You just know now. So like when you hear the click, a character goes, well, let's just put that down. You're just like, oh, I see.
I understand.
That's cute. That's cute, actually. Like, sometimes it gets annoying when they could have done that better, but at the same time, it's like, it's already recorded, you can't really do it.
Especially as you're the audio engineer person. Well, you're the one who does all the audio stuff for us, and also who did the stuff for Reverse AU.
I'm trying not to.
But it's fun, because now I'm done with my audio class. I could probably help you if you ever did a podcast thing, like an audio drama, because now I have knowledge! Yay!
I actually, like, rearranged my online portfolio recently, and got a little, like, existential with the fact that I don't have enough, like, voice acting credits, and then I
You've got-
realized, like, I have zero range.
No, hey.
I have zero range as an actor. So it's fine. But also I got typecast into the bitchy snob guy. So it's a little disheartening.
Have I been typecast? I don't think so. I think maybe just like chaotic bisexual. That's about it.
But like most of it is just like a ray of light. You know? It makes me so mad. So I'm just like, maybe I should do more like audio stuff, audio projects.
I'm always down for you doing that, because I do think you enjoy it as a thing.
Yeah. I don't have the space to record. That's the only issue.
That's fair. That's fair.
I have my desk where we are talking right now.
If anyone is doing like an audio comedy and needs
Help.
work, I volunteer. I love doing comedy stuff.
We should write something together.
Yeah.
We've never done a writing project together.
No, we haven't.
It's mostly just been like you throwing ideas at me, and I'm like, I can make that.
You can make that happen, and then you go and can you record this for me? I'm like, sure. I think that's all I've got to say about Wolf 59.
For real?
Like,
that's all of it.
I think so. Or like in a way that I can articulate, other than like in my brain I have so much love for the show, but I'm afraid it will just come out as me going like Courage the Cowardly Dog. It's a good show. Like even like a decade on, like if you want like a good audio drama to listen to, if you need like something to listen to while you're doing homework,
Commute home.
There are worse things that you could listen to.
The best actual like analog for deep space is being on the commute.
Oh wait,
just
why
like
is
an
that
ORB.
true?
I'm sorry.
But yeah, we love audio dramas on here. We have a lot of podcasts. I listen to a shit ton of them.
Yes,
there
you
will
do.
like, I don't think we, as a media covering podcast, can cover another media covering podcast. So, let's just cover these audio dramas that I think are great, and I think they deserve more love, even though they're quite old.
Yeah, I like the idea of audio dramas, like, resurging, like, had the resurgence of audio dramas. I say that like they went away. We just kind of, like, stepped away from them after.
No, yeah, but to be fair to us and like our little friend group, I think a lot of us were just really frustrated and burnt out with like the whole way they interacted with their audience in general. It was just really frustrating for all of us. So it took a while to like metaphorically get over the X. So as we say, but like yeah, like as someone who was getting into Wolf 59 post like the whole thing, it was such like an interesting jumping on point to come and like look at this pioneer of space dramas and shows.
Yeah.
And also,
they were very bright-eyed about this project when they started it. You can tell how new they were to the format.
I think it's actually, despite like the whole like them being new, like even the early seasons are really endearing for how much they put the effort into writing these characters and making them interesting and fascinating. So I think it would have been very easy to kind of be amateurish sounding, but I think they did a good enough job. Like, listening to season 1, I'm like, oh, this is really good. I enjoy this. I will keep listening to this. It's not like one of those audio dramas where the first one is kind of awkward sounding, but I think it's interesting to like go back and listen to this audio drama from back in 2014, which is 10 years ago. Oh my god, time is not real. And like go back and listen to these people who they didn't know that they would be bringing about this age of like different space podcasts, and even bringing new people who are interested in the audio drama scene into that world. I do think it's funny that I listened to Caravan way before I listened to Wolf 359.
Eiffel's Lord's Prayer.
What?
Sorry.
What?
It's in the bonus content.
Wait, I want to see.
I know he's not Christian. It's so funny.
No, you know what? I don't know what it is. There's something about
the full version of what a panicked Eiffel thinks.
Oh my god. I want to see. Hang on. Live Gab reaction. What is it?
Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will get done.
What?
As it is everywhere else. Give us this daily food. Blessed be the holiness of God. Please save my ass.
I'm cutting out so much of that.
That's so fair. But anyway, yeah, Wolf 359, great show. Give it a listen.
Super worth it if you're into sitcoms.
Space.
And also space.
Space.
And also
fucked up little guys.
Men who do not know how to communicate in the English language, even though they are American.
Yeah! I'm not the last part, but yeah.
AI.
Women.
Women, so true. Wait, we gotta do we're doing next episode, we're doing Nita Manzoor. We're just reminding everyone again.
We promise. We promise. We are doing Nita Manzoor next week.
Have a guest, we don't know.
We'll scrounge it up, and then we'll see when Dairy Girls will be covered. I very badly want to cover Dairy Girls.
Wasn't there a movie that was about
There wasn't a movie.
Come out? Oh, okay.
I don't think so.
That's my wishful thinking, like manifesting
I
it
know.
into me.
Oh my god, Irish people.
Okay, I stopped the recording. Say bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. What you just heard was a talk from the Secret Treehouse. Those were your hosts, SJ and Gab, and this was a production by The Playground. If you like that, please consider supporting us through the links found in the show notes. If you support us for as low as $6 in coffee, you can get the whole uncut version of this episode. And if you want your name at the end of the episode, like at this moment here, you can support us for $10. Thank you so much for listening, and we hope we get to hang out again.